I was 16 years old back in 1992. And of course, with all the gangs going on, I wasn't a gang member, but I was a juvenile. A young man was killed. That young man was actually a friend of mine. Him and I went to school together. He as well was 16 years old. He was killed over his starter's jacket. Back then in the late 80s, early 90s, the Chicago Bulls and Oakland A's starter jackets was really popular as well. And so Kevin, who the guy that was killed, he was supposedly walking down the road, walking down a street, him and another young man. And two people, it's supposed to have been a woman and a man, got out of a car and stopped him and asked for his jacket. And during that time, a fight happened, or maybe he's supposed to ask for his brush, and a fight pursued, and the woman shot him. And they left, and Kevin, I don't know if he died then or maybe later, and this supposedly happened around about 5 o'clock on February the 9th. And at that time, at 5 o'clock, I was at my mom's house on the couch waiting on her while she got ready. We were about to go to a singing event, a concert, a gospel concert. And so when she got ready, we were leaving. So my mom had an apartment where we were at. However, she owned a home in Little Rock. And so on our way going to the church event, we passed her house, and we seen a lot of commotion going on, a lot of cop cars everywhere. And this is the neighborhood that the young man got killed in, my friend. And so we see all this commotion, and so we slow down to see what was going on. I still had my church clothes on because I had went to church that morning. I still had on my all white church clothing that I had on all that day. And so when we got there, we see all these police cars. We get out the car to see what's going on, and they was like, "Who are you?" And I said, "I'm Faye." And at that time, I was instantly threw against the car. And my mom, I don't know what they said to her at that time, but I was taken down along with maybe 8 or 9 different juveniles. That just basically every kid in my neighborhood was taken to the police station. At that time when I got there, I didn't know what was going on. I had never ever been locked up, been cuffed up or anything, so this was all new to me. I didn't know what was going on, but I knew when I walked in the police department, I remember seeing a young man sitting on the side. He was really crying and distraught, and the detective was right there with him. And I remember when they had me in handcuffs, walking in, and the detective like pointed like, "That's her," and he was like, "That's not her." And they went on, took me to the back, but I didn't know what, at this time, I didn't know what was going on. And so when I got in there, they asked me, they wanted to know what I did all that day, and I had shared with them that I had went to church that morning. After church, my friend guy had picked me up with his other friend. We did some errands, and he took me back home because I had to go to church. And so, because we were going to a singing event, so he took me back home, and that was basically it. And well, at that time, they said, "Can we do a gun residue on you?" I said, "Sure," because I know I had never shot a gun before, so I didn't mind. They did a gun residue, and they came back, and it was like, "It's negative." They said, "Can we get it? We want to take a picture of you." And I was like, "Okay, sure, no problem." And they said, "We'll be in touch."
When they said negative, that meant that it excluded you.
That
right?
excluded me.
Yes, what
but
negative
basically
means.
it excluded me when the young man said, "No, that's not the person."
That excluded you also.
Exactly, because
Yeah,
he
so
was
that was
that's
Yeah.
right, because he later on I found out he was the one with Kevin, but I didn't know this at the time.